Budget high refresh rate monitors have been available for quite some time, and some people seem to think that they're the bee's knees and then they make a massive difference, and some people seem to not be able to tell the difference. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a noob,
Hi.
Anna, and we're going to see how easily she can tell the difference with a double-blind test. Now, before we get into actually shaming Anna on the internet,
Rude.
We're going to break down the actual testing methodology today. Now, we're going to test between 60 frames per second and 144. We're going to have Anna play Doom. We're not going to actually change the frame rates in the game itself. We're going to have that run at the same settings for all of the tests, but we're going to change the refresh rate in the control panel in Windows. Now, Anna's not going to know which frame rate the monitor is running at. And then we're going to do a control test at a frame rate that she doesn't know, and then we're going to do another 7 tests to see whether or not she can tell which one is 60 frames per second and which one is 144. And then quickly, before we get a goal on screen, I just want to say that the graphics card that we're using is an RTX 2060, which should be able to run Doom at over 144 frames per second at 1080p. And then the monitor that we're using is an Acer VG27 1P, I think. Basically, it's a 1080p IPS 144Hz display that has a 1 millisecond response time. Yeah, so it should make a pretty good case for whether or not high refresh rate is something we should actually care about. And then when we're done with Anna's tests, I'm gonna do the same thing. You've made me lose confidence here. And we're gonna see just if we can actually tell without the placebo of knowing what the frame rate is. Say hello.
Hi.
Okay, so just so that you know, Anna's never actually played Doom before.
Doom.
So it is a bit of a it is going to be a bit of a new experience for her. But you know, we're trying to test whether a noob can tell the difference, and you know, Anna's being a good noob here. And then just quickly, do you have any idea what settings the monitor is on at the moment?
No.
Would you know how to check?
No.
Okay. Okay, so you're going to go on restart mission.
Restart.
What did I say?
Restart.
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 Okay, so this one is just a control, and you don't have to play for very long.
Okay, I'm probably gonna die.
There are no enemies in the beginning bit, so this is
That's
just an
what you
arcade
think.
match.
Do I run into... Okay, how do I shoot?
You click, and then... No swearing, Anna.
Oh.
And then you can... Yeah, so you can just kind of wander around.
Ooh, what's that? Does it pick stuff up automatically?
Yeah, so you just walk over things. Okay, so you just kind of go over there. As you can see at the frame rate, we're getting about between 170 and 190.
Oh, did I hear something? Oh my god.
Swearing, please.
I'm dying.
Anna, this is going to be your first test. This is, you know, there's actually going to be some pressure here. No, I'm joking. There's no pressure. It's genuinely about your perception.
Yeah.
But just keep in mind that it may actually be the same setting. Okay, so I didn't necessarily change it, but I also didn't necessarily not change it.
Okay.
Okay, let's go. Let's see if you can tell.
Chances are it's gonna be the same, and I'm gonna be like, it's different. Oh, I prefer. Actually, I don't know. Do I prefer this one? Like, I feel like, ooh, it feels faster.
Okay, there we go. So, what's your verdict?
It was a higher refresh rate.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now we're going to look away, and I'm going to change the settings. Now, you said that you think that test was a higher frame rate. Why do you think that?
It felt like faster. It felt as though I was moving more quickly and stuff. I don't know if that is what.
And was the difference clear to you, or was it fairly...
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay, cool. So we're going to do another test, which again, may be a different frame rate, it may be the same, we don't know.
Okay. I think that was also a higher refresh rate.
You think that was also a higher refresh rate? Okay, cool. So now you're going to turn around, and we're going to try again.
I feel like I'm definitely getting these all wrong.
Oh, really? I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Well, I feel like I'm going on the assumption that the first one was a low refresh rate.
Oh, we've got Nekos trying to chime in.
It kind of feels more realistic.
This one feels more realistic to you?
Yeah, like...
Okay. Get him! So if you go close to them, you can punch them. I think you press F, but I'm not sure. I can't remember.
I'm not very good at like.
Oh, and using the keyboard and the mouse separately.
Yeah.
But honestly, you're doing quite well, considering that this is the first time you've ever played this game. And the thing is, Anna's never really played shooters before. She played some Skyrim, but like this is different. Okay, so we're gonna stop it there.
Oh.
What do you think?
I think that was a lower refresh rate.
Do you think that was low?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So
I don't
now
know
we're going
why.
to do a couple... Oh, you don't know why. Okay. Okay, so we're going to do a couple more. So turn around and I'm going to change it. Okay, so this is the last test and then we're going to reveal your results to you.
Yeah. And then have seen how badly I failed.
How badly you may or may not have failed.
I felt like that one was low. My reason for feeling that way was I moved the mouse like back and forth, so I was like looking across.
Okay.
And I felt like I could see like shadows, and I don't know if that's
Okay. No, well, that's a very good indication of whether it is or
and
not.
kind of.
The test that you just did was the
Yes.
lower refresh rate.
Okay.
And you actually identified what to look for correctly there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for the rest of the test results, you didn't actually do very well, but it's the last two you got correct.
Okay.
And that's where you started to identify what the difference is between them.
Yeah.
So I think one of the issues with the results here, so
Yeah.
you got 4 out of 7, which isn't too bad.
Yeah. They
but
did feel like guesses though.
yeah, they did feel like and they did seem like most of them were guesses, except the last two when you
Yeah,
started identifying
yeah.
it. And now it's my turn. So let me show you how to change the refresh rate on the monitor, and then we're gonna see if I can tell. Now it's my turn to actually see whether or not I can tell a difference between 60 frames per second and 144. Now this one's the control, I don't know what's happening here. I do have to give a bit of background here. I have never gamed on a high refresh rate monitor before. The most high refresh rate I've ever used was just on the desktop changing the settings for Anna earlier. So I know what the idea is, what the difference should be, but I've never experienced it firsthand. And I have played a little bit of Doom, so I don't know how much that helps. But okay, let's start the run. And again, this is the control, so we don't... Ooh, it feels very smooth. Like, regardless of what frame rate this is at, like it's really smooth. I know this is the control, but I'm gonna say this is 144 frames per second. And you're not allowed to tell me if I'm right or not.
Okay.
But yeah, this feels like this is the smoothest gaming experience I've ever had. Okay, I can change. Yeah, this just in the menu, it feels like 60. So I actually feel like just from this little bit of experience that I've had, I feel like the place that it matters the most, that you can tell the difference the most, is actually in the menus because of the like cursor movement. But let's see here, we're gonna start run. Yeah, this is slower, this is 60.
Mad.
This is definitely 60. Like honestly, the difference is night and day. And I know that if I'm wrong here, it's gonna be humiliating, but the difference is night and day. Okay, if you move, it almost makes me dizzy how smooth it is. But yeah, this is 144. But this is, I think this is 60. Just in the menu, yeah, this is 144. So if I'm getting this wrong, like I don't know what, something's broken. Okay, so Anna still hasn't showed me. She's gonna hand me the. Oh, so that was the chair. That wasn't me. I promise.
What if you can see? No.
I'll put graphics and stuff in. What? I got the last one wrong. I got them all right, but the last have you changed it?
No, it was at 144, and you were so confident. It's pretty great.
That's so weird though, because I got them all correct.
Yeah.
And then I just got, because honestly, the last one.
Because you got confident.
Is this still 60?
No, this is 144.
This is 144. Mm-hmm. I mean,
You committed to 60.
yeah, I committed to 60. But I mean, that's pretty good.
It
though.
is very impressive.
That is pretty, because honestly,
It was a bit irritating actually. Like,
Oh, really?
I would change it and you'd be like, this is 60. Or and then like, nope, 144. Definitely 144. Definitely 60.
I don't know if I believe you that this is. It's 60. You didn't apply. Oh! Oh, that is how accurate I have been. She forgot to apply the settings change. So honestly, I was looking at that and I was like, this does not feel the same. Yeah! Yeah! Honestly, the difference is massive. It really is clear. Now, before I finish off the video, we did do the test with Anna again, but before we did the double blind tests, I sat her down and showed her this is what 60 feels like, this is what 144 feels like, and then she got 4 out of 5 of the tests correct, which is way better. And they weren't just guesses. She could actually kind of start to identify the difference. And I think that kind of shows the point that the difference between 144 and 60 frames per second is also kind of down to the perception of the person. So I do genuinely believe that some people can't tell the difference and some can. It's kind of like high-end speakers. For some people, the difference isn't as clear as others. And this test shows that it's not just placebo, that there genuinely is a difference in perception in human beings. Yeah, so what I'd recommend is if you want to get into high refresh rate gaming, go to a shop that has a monitor up and have a look if you can tell. You don't even need to game on it. You can tell by just moving the cursor around on the desktop. And if you can't tell, stick with your 60 frames per second monitor. And if you can, get one of these. It's an amazing monitor. This specific monitor is great. I've been gaming on it for the last couple of days after we did these tests, and I really would recommend it. The colors are beautiful and it responds really well. And because it's only 1080p, it doesn't put that much of a strain on your graphics card. Anyway, with that, thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, do like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and look around the channel. There are a bunch of other interesting videos. And until the next one, bye-bye. Okay.